our honorable members, of course, the Deputy Prime Minister, Excellencies, Ambassadors, Your Excellency, Minister for Middle East, yes, Excellency, my friend, we cherish our friendship. And our friends, it is indeed a pleasure to be with you. Thank you all for being here, and thank you to the Labour Friends of Palestine and Medical Aid for Palestinians for organizing this evening's event, as well as your tireless work, so vital in these different ways, and their different ways. So it is an opportunity to thank the Labour Friends of Palestine for years and years of work, principled work, that have brought us all together here tonight. Lisa Nandy, I see the right honorable. Lisa Nancy, we used to chair the Labour Friends of Palestine and the Middle East, and we are so proud of you, Lisa. We are proud of all your colleagues who have kept the torch throughout the years. It is also a pleasure to be at this year's Labour Conference, which I can see is buzzing with energy, optimism, and hope. And hope. My friends, hope is a rare commodity for us, the Palestinian people. We are living through deeply, deeply traumatic times. We are wounded, we are angry, we are hurt. Perhaps the worst of times in our already generations-long trauma. And a history of displacement, the Nakba, oppression, occupation, colonization, and a century of being denied our very basic rights. And it will take decades, my brothers and sisters, my friends. It will take a long time, perhaps generations, to repair the physical and emotional damage. I don't even want to venture, I guess, as how long it will take to overcome that emotional, that mental and psychological damage of so much grief, so much pain, senseless, unnecessary. In these dark days, my friends, then hope is not only a rare commodity, it is a precious commodity. That is hope. And yet, I am absolutely, bluntly, clearly hopeful. I am hopeful because we all know what the way forward is. We all know where we want to go. And we know we have a global consensus behind us. Maybe, just maybe, the daily war crimes being committed in Gaza and all over the occupied territory, and now in Lebanon, for the past year, and the many decades of unlawful and brutal occupation, will concentrate minds and hearts on the centrality of international law and international relations. And we've just heard the Deputy Prime Minister speaking, committing, declaring the commitment, the central commitment to international law. I am hopeful because with Keir Starmer as a Prime Minister, we have a former human rights lawyer, an Attorney General who served at the ICJ, the International Court of Justice, who knows how important it is. He knows very well how important it is. The UK's commitment, to the international rules-based order, international legality. The very system we built together to establish one principle, the never again. And the early signs, I must say, The early signs of this new government have been promising. Restoring funding to UNRWA, shamefully cut, is absolutely vital, as UNRWA is the main provider for humanitarian support in Gaza, and it is an expression of international support for the plight of the Palestinian refugees until the fulfillment of their rights to return to their homes and farms. And UNRWA is not just vital in its services to the people in Gaza, the refugees in Gaza, but in the West Bank, in Jordan, in Lebanon, in Syria, and all over the region. And the pulling of that intervention at the ICC by the new government is very commendable. And the statement that this government respects the independence of international judicial institutions must be applauded. Nothing is more important at this point in time than accountability, not only because victims deserve justice, but because we want to deter the next war criminals. The suspension of arms export licenses too was positive, even if it does not go far enough, and it does not go far enough. The government stated support for the International Court of Justice and International Criminal Court underscores Labour's commitment to put its legal obligations ahead of political calculations. However, the abstention at the UN last week was disappointing, a step backward, and contradictory. Why abstain on a vote on a ruling of the ICJ that this government otherwise it says it supports? And while we are at it, it is not time that the UK join Norway, and I see the ambassador of Norway, join Norway, Spain, and Ireland, and the 70% of the world's countries in recognizing the state of Palestine. After all, my friends, it is where we all want to go. All except one. We all want to go there. The region, we have the Arab Peace Initiative. The war, numerous international resolutions. Consensus except one, that is Israel, which has been clear for many years that it will not allow a Palestinian state from emerging. They even wrote that in law in the Knesset. Given that very defined position from the Israeli government, and given that not a single Israeli opposition party, not one opposition party, with a chance of winning the general election says nothing different, why are we waiting? What are we waiting for? What exactly? What is the statement that we have to wait for the right moment within a process? What process? Are we oriented by the process, or we are oriented by the goal, by the outcome? This is dancing around the bushes. Mincing words, delaying the inevitable. Time for recognition of the inalienable right of the Palestinian people to self-determination is now. And as the Right Honourable Angela Rayner said, this isn't a gift, this isn't a favour, this isn't a reward by a neighbour or by the UK. This is a long overdue right, particularly from the United Kingdom, particularly from Great Britain. And you all know how that bleak century started with the Balfour Declaration. There is a moral responsibility, a political responsibility, a historic responsibility. This is a time for statesmanship. and therefore a UK recognition is paramount. And Israel's actions, my friends, over the last year, and before I go on, and then in the explanation by the new government at the UN General Assembly, it says they fully agree with the central argument finding of the ICJ that Israel's presence in the occupied territory is unlawful and must cease, that Israel's illegal colonial settlements are illegal, including in East Jerusalem, occupied East Jerusalem, and all settlements must be suspended and dismantled. The ICJ goes on, all third parties must not provide any material, political or legal aid to Israel's unlawful practices. But at the very same time of the explanation, they say, however, we only believe that this should be done through a negotiated two-state solution and a process with Israel. So in effect, we're giving Israel, again, a veto power over something they could not be more clear they are not interested in. They are simply not interested in. And 30 years of peacemaking is long enough to come to that conclusion. Israel's actions over the last year, not only in Gaza, but also in the West Bank, and now in Lebanon, so sure, that it will go to any length to maintain its unlawful occupation. I am going to say it from my heart and from my mind. If you think all these wars Israel is engaged in against Gaza or in the West Bank or even in Lebanon is about anything else but maintaining a permanent occupation, think again. That's the only goal. The moment they end occupation, we will all enjoy peace. And my friends, it has exposed world leaders as unable and unwilling to stop this mass murder. Our international system has been unable, under that very big test, to stop the mass murder and the mass destruction unfolding before our eyes. So, my friends, it is clear, after all these decades, that a change of approach is needed if we are to secure a just and sustainable peace. And I assure you, on behalf of the Palestinian people, on behalf of the Palestinian leadership, and on behalf of my Arab colleagues here today and those who are not here, we want peace. That's our orientation. That's every cell of our bodies and of our brains and of our actions and initiatives. Change requires courage, leadership, and clarity. Clarity. Change also requires hope. Hope that we can create a better, more stable, more prosperous world for ourselves and for our children and grandchildren. What world are we leaving behind? What future are we leaving behind? We need to start by restoring belief in and commitment to the global rules-based order, because I assure you, millions, if not billions of people are losing hope in that system. And the best way to do so is to consistently hold everyone equally accountable under law, friends or foes, no exceptions, no one above the law. And I commend the Archbishop of Canterbury, who released a statement only yesterday, saying that Israel should not maintain its status as immune from international and should be under the rule of law. And I would end here, my friend, and I'm sure you're going to hear from the Minister for the Middle East, our good friend Hamish, and you just heard Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner, who has fought tirelessly for equality. And we have been following her career and the Labour leaders' career, fighting for equality, for justice, and the most vulnerable throughout the history of this country. And I will believe that the Labour values, your ethos, your founding principles will guide us into a different foreign policy. So let us continue, my brothers and sisters, my friends, let us continue to work together. We want nothing more and nothing less than the fulfillment and the full implementation of international law as embodied by the ICJ's recent opinion. And we see the outpouring support by the British people. the unprecedented love, solidarity, humanity. And I see the director of the Palestine Solidarity Campaign, Ben Jamali, and all the great work that has been done over the last year that shows that the British people, the cross community, the show of unity, are in line with our values and give us hope, so much hope. We even see tens of thousands in Lebanon a couple of days ago. And it is time for responsible actors to be similarly resolved in line with the hearts and minds of the people, the demands of the people in the UK, all over the world. This is not just about us, my friends. This isn't just about the Palestinian people, or the Jordanian people, or the Lebanese people. This is about all of us, every and each one of us. Thank you.